Welcome back, and thank you for joining me and Jonathan.
Hello.
So, let's enter the game and see what's happened. The game has ended, so anyone left in the game has been placed. I've reached 7th place and been given a gold reward of 686 gold. Now, from that we know that probably either New Zealand or Jonathan has won the game because they had the most victory points and they had the most land. They were most in the lead. And so we need to reveal to you who has won, basically. So, Jonathan, can you tell us what happened?
Right, yeah. So I think we briefly touched on this in yesterday's episode. We thought New Zealand was getting too close to winning, so I left the coalition, and we all came up with a plan to help me go for the solo win, which involved the capture of 2 victory sites, one that belonged to Argentina, and another which was currently held by Tim, which I sequestered, and that gave me a 1,000-point boost. But we were uncertain about whether I was going to have enough points, because whilst I was taking some land off Brazil, I was losing a lot in Algeria and a lot in Europe, and they were specifically going for domed complexes that I had, such as the Resniki complex, which I lost about 20 minutes before midnight.
Oh, I didn't realise that. Wow.
It was very tense, and you can also see they were gunning for another one. China, who'd been hired as a mercenary by New Zealand, he was going for the Johannesburg complex in South Africa, and he was about 3 hours away from taking that. And I feel like I've just got to reveal what the result was.
Let's have a look.
Crack it open in your newspaper.
So
Victory rewards.
Right, I'm opening it. Victory rewards. Yep, here we go.
I got first place.
We did it.
Very happy.
We did it. Oh my God. Look, New Zealand were only 200 points behind. That's insane. Wow. And how did you win with that? I thought it was 3,800 points to win.
3,700.
So you won by 42 points. You're kidding me. I don't actually know any of this because wow. Okay. That's insane. And I need to confirm, Jonathan, even though you broke off for a solo win, do you still pledge your win, or would you pledge your win to the Alliance and the channel City Gamer?
Absolutely. That was the plan all along, and I couldn't have done it without both of you. Tim was instrumental in holding the victory site against New Zealand, and all of your troops, they really stood strong against Argentina, literally up until the last minute. If you look at this Italian victory site, you can see there's still some troops outside, and he's flying in helicopters right at the last second. It really came down to the wire. And
goodness me.
We chose this path because it was the only realistic way to victory. And what was more important than all of us getting the win was showing these players that they couldn't boss us around, and that we would beat them. And that is ultimately what we've done by sealing the victory for one of us. So yeah, it's a coalition win through and through.
We're going to have a look at every single unit in the world revealed and see just what everyone had. Gold players aplenty. And you're right, Jonathan, we had to show the gold players. And there were a lot on this one. That no matter how much money you can spend, we can take you down and we can still win this game. But it was tough, it was tricky, and we only barely just scraped through. Go on then, where do you want to start? You won.
Well, I mean, yeah, the Johannesburg complex in the south. Let's look at what China had. As I say, in 3 hours, if I'd lost that, I wouldn't have won in that night. And the game would have gone on, and we almost certainly would have succumbed to the other coalitions.
Wow.
This big stack he's moving in.
Yeah.
Main battle tanks, max level, motorized infantry, and mobile artillery, which is interesting. It's not one we've seen before.
And the Forlorn Hope did indeed die, but not before. They delayed and pretty much took down the initial main stack that was going to be the landing party. So that the Forlorn Hope potentially won the game for us there. So you can see it boating in there, Jonathan. That was headed up the African River, and I believe it would have unpacked at Senanga, which is south of the victory site, or I don't know, gone up the river to Kapoko. Okay, so they'd have been a lot closer, and I think they'd have made it. So the Forlorn Hope, the frigate, the shot to nothing I sent round for other purposes, was able to intercept them, and we held. Let's have a look at what's next. There's a lot to get through then.
Yeah, well, you can also see China was in the middle of sending like the rest of his armies over, and he made a classic mistake of overstacking his armies. What else?
Yeah.
New Zealand, lots and lots of boats. He's had some just sitting around his home cities, including some high-level theatre defence and some max-level frigates. And did he have some cruisers? I can't actually remember.
Frigate.
Frigate.
So he's got a frigate and theatre defence on each city. He's obviously been warned that Norway are nuking, and also he nuked us a few times. So he knew he was going to do that to other people, and so protected himself. Interestingly, he only had one frigate on each city. So if one of us was to send as a 2 frigates, 2 destroyers, I thought he'd have more cruisers. If one of us was to send a stack of cruisers, for example, to his home cities, that would have bashed him. Big stack from China. 2 main battle tanks, troops going over.
You can see this battle which Kim valiantly fought with all of his subs in the mouth of the Oman River, whatever that's called. I don't believe it currently exists. Well, not to this extent in real life, but he fought off lots and lots of frigates and destroyers. But unfortunately, he was in the process of losing. This is the second example of where we were really on a knife edge with winning this game.
Oh, I don't know, because he's still got 7 subs, and he's taking down that first stack and then going for the second stack.
Ooh,
so I think he may have held.
True.
I'm calling that a hold. Let's look at his victory site. Can you talk me through that?
I mean, there is a lot to see now because most of it got killed, but we had tank destroyers which were flying in. We had motorized infantry, rocket launchers, a ton of high-level combat recon. But all we're really left with is these high-level motorized now, and they're all kind of split off. In fact, he did have some big stacks down just south of the victory site. See, we've got theatre defence here, more tank destroyers, and he's flying them in.
Oh, yeah, we can see one flying in.
Yeah, he left India undefended.
Oh,
Tim managed to take loads of land there.
Yeah, and do you know what? He was only 200 points behind you. If we hadn't gone all out against him and actually... So what's that? Motorised and then theatre defence. If we hadn't gone all out and Tim hadn't taken... that Bubble City... The Nagpur complex, that was worth 60 points. Only 33 now, but when it was fully generated, it was 60 points to him. And all that land and all those cities, this is unbelievable how close this came and how close it could have been. Big stack, New Zealand coming in, but they didn't send that to the victory site. Another big stack from New Zealand, so they were kind of positioned in just the wrong place. But they had big stacks coming into that victory site as well. Go on, let's have a look at this absolute mess. And this was the most difficult one, the European victory site.
Yeah, I think Tim could have held on the New Zealand front with perhaps a bit of trouble. But if you look at this, in Europe, we would have been pushed right back to Istanbul. Unfortunately, we left the kind of Austria, Serbia, Czech area completely undefended. We are focusing more on Norway to the north and the victory site just north of Italy. And they pushed right through. They saw an opening. And whilst I had all my launchers, they're absolutely decimating them. They managed to outrun them because the theatre defence, it just held them back, and all of this mountainous land, whilst it gave the attack bonus, it slowed down my troops too much. and he just fully saw the opening. He split off all his troops, and individually he started taking loads of cities, loads of provinces, and that's what took the majority of victory points off of me. And I actually didn't take many
Wow.
cities there. I left them mostly to you, which worked in to my advantage because he didn't have a lot to take off of me. Um, and you can also see he wasn't stopping to take these cities, and they all went rogue overnight. Um, yeah, so he was just looking to take as many points as he could because the penny dropped on what we had planned.
Yeah, right at
Maybe
the
like
last minute.
6 hours before it. Yeah, and we should note that whilst New Zealand fully could have done the same thing, he didn't. And at this time, he was still in the coalition. So to win as a coalition, they still needed a few more points. They actually gained around only a couple of hundred because we took so much land off
They
of them.
still needed 1,100 points. Let's go into a bit more detail and have a look at some of these units. So they had a stack of strike fighters with an officer. Right near the victory site, they had a stack of helicopters going in, ASW helicopters, and they had a little stack with one rocket, and then they had an ASW helicopter as well. I think we were okay. I mean, give that another day, there's no chance it would have held. Here's Ireland and their homeland. They had nothing left, did they?
No,
Oh
and
my
they
God.
really didn't have a lot to
That's
start off with.
Desperate.
And
They
I
just
want
had
to point out,
corvettes.
yeah, but
Cool.
one unit from Brazil that was causing a lot of problems was his elite officer with his strike fighters. They're only at level 4. It just goes to show how important they are because he's been picking off our troops for the past 48 hours or so. His strike fighter's got 41 kills between the 4 of them, and his fixed officer's got 14 on his own. So that's absolutely just ridiculous.
Brazil.
Yeah, Ireland. Yeah. His hot
Wow.
shots.
Enemies destroyed 14 for the officer, and then the strikes 41. Yeah, we can see it here. I hadn't realised you could do that for other people. Here we go, Norway. Let's see what... Oh my, you are actually kidding me. Oh, that is insane. Oh my goodness me. There's 30... What? That's not even possible. There's 30 troop type, 15 tank type, 27 support type, 2 officers just in that one stack, and then there are other stacks. So let's digest this. 12 rockets, 23 motorized, 17 mechanized, 2 anti-air, 2 mobile SAM, 6 theatre defense, infantry officer and tank commander. We killed them on the hit on Istanbul, so he's obviously magicked them back up. 7 main battle tanks, 7 tank destroyers. If he'd just maybe wrapped up 7 main battle tanks with a tank commander and just sent them for my capital, that would have done it with a troop. That would be pretty hard to take down. Planes, elite bomber, 2, 1 stealth bomber, 2 heavy bombers, 5 air superiority, 5 stealth strikes, 1 strike, 1 naval patrol aircraft. So he's got a bit of everything, hasn't he? And then these are the launchers we've already seen. So a CM launcher, BM launcher. Here we go. 1 cruiser, 2 frigates, 1 corvette. ICBM.
If you look slightly to the north as well, you'll see the real bane of our existence over the past week, which was this helicopter stack next to some of these planes, just north of Harnessand. 4 attack helicopters in the elite officer. So there's a theme here with the officers leading some successful units. Yeah, they've got a few kills between them, and they were very tough to kind of spot and avoid.
The stealth units, yeah. So helicopter stacks, stealth strike fighters, each with an officer. Okay, there's New Zealand. So New Zealand took the victory site, Norway's victory site, with 2 tank destroyers, a theatre defence, a mobile SAM, and a motorised infantry. So that wasn't a lot. I'd have expected them to go in with more.
It was almost completely undefended. I think it was as of like a couple of days ago. Tim was sending in 1 unit, but it actually got taken down by something that was there. I'm not sure if it was Norway or New Zealand's troops. But yeah, he kind of missed the ball, dropped the ball with having all of these troops on his capital, like a shopping list of everything he could possibly want in this game, which he pretty much just bought. He didn't really utilize it too well, and he had very few boats too. That's one thing I'm particularly shocked about. If we just brought a navy up there, then he would have been screwed.
New Zealand just taking Madagascar with just troops, which I thought would be the case. So the people we haven't seen is China, and then Brazil and Argentina in their homeland. It looks like they sent everything they had to Europe. I mean, what did we take out in Europe?
Oh, crikey. We took out a lot of motorized. There was quite a few rocket launchers, which were difficult to deal with. They had quite a good strategy going, similar to us. I expect they probably saw what we had and copied some of it, or tried to match it at least. So we were trading off a lot of rockets, especially on the victory site, and we had to send in airborne and strike fighters and everything we had just to take down those units. Argentina was reacting a lot, so I think at one point Norway had some subs. They must be dead at this point, but he specially made some ASW helicopters to take them out, which are weak against most things, but extremely strong against subs. We were fighting. Also, there was lots of SAM turrets, mobile anti-air, all of that stuff. So our strikes couldn't get anywhere near him. So we were forced to fight things in these range battles with the rocket launchers or with tanks. But they had kind of similar army compositions to us. And also, they had quite a formidable navy. Not quite as formidable as New Zealand, but enough to really cause some damage. These cruisers near Palermo in Italy. They did a lot.
I've just found something out actually. So off the coast of Japan is the California Republic. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what they were doing, but no, I thought I knew what they were doing because there was one boat that was going for the entrance to the Suez Canal, but the California Republic weren't. I think they were all massing. I think that the California Republic, they were all going against us. I think if we'd played this game out, we were obviously up against the whole world. We'll go back to what you're saying about the cruisers, Jonathan. Oh wow, okay, so I hadn't seen that on the tip of Italy. They've got three cruisers, high level, one destroyer in one stack, and then 4 destroyers. Yeah, if they'd got round, they'd have been able to bomb the victory site because you can reach it from there. And again, that's why we had to...
Again, it was only 10 hours away from getting their tops. Probably less, actually.
Wow. They didn't have much anywhere else. What's that? Oh, they had a stealth strike fighter, Argentina, near their bubble city in Morocco. So, everything was in Europe. I think they were preparing to send it all toward Norway, but they quickly changed it all toward us. And they had... this is an example of their big stack. Here we go, found it. So, Argentina's big stack was 3 mobile SAMs, 2 mobile anti-air, a radar, and 4 multiple rocket launchers. That's uncanny in terms of its makeup of what we would do. So, yeah. Great minds think alike. I do wonder if anyone was watching. I don't know if one of them was watching. Let's go to Brazil's homeland and Argentina's. And Argentina first. They had nothing there. They've got... Okay. No, they do. So they've got 3 rockets on Cuchillo Co. 3 rockets, motorized, radar, and a theatre defensive stack for the entrance to their homeland, which is fair enough. Then they've got 2 theatre defence on Rio, Quarto, 1 theatre defence, then 1 theatre defence on others, and they didn't have anything on their capital. Or maybe they had 1 theatre defence, but you need 2 to stop a nuke, don't you? Brazil.
Yeah.
What were Brazil sending? What are these? Ooh, subs. 1 sub. Are they elite subs? Yeah, elite subs. Where were they going? Okay, yeah, they were going up the river. No big stack of boats, though. It's mainly units. I expected more to come up the Suez Canal. So Brazil had a max level theatre defence. I certainly warned him about Norway, but equally we weren't to know about New Zealand, or we kind of did, but yeah, just theatre defence, and they had a frigate. So looks like people were, I mean, no matter what your level and how much stuff you had, destroying a corvette there, but generally a frigate on each city seems to be a consensus. Even for New Zealand, a theatre defence, it was a very, I mean, yeah, here we go. First Nations. Ooh, what's that? Elite railgun. Very nice.
Yeah, and there's an aircraft carrier over here with
Wow.
2 helicopters sitting on it, which is such a
Oh.
weird and random thing to have.
Yeah. They were obviously waiting to build that up to move it over, weren't they? I'd imagine, I think they actually moved against Ireland and Norway, didn't they? I'd imagine they were rebuilding the original attack. I'd imagine in their original attack they had an aircraft carrier full of helicopters with all sorts of other stuff, but they got taken down.
They've only got level 1 troops, which I don't really understand. Is looking at everything they've got, it's a little bit disappointing, to be honest.
California Republic. What's this? Destroyer
Hang on.
elite
You can
railgun.
see Brazil is sitting on one of the First Nation cities, so they had a right-of-way agreement. Just odd, really.
Who is
Brazil
sitting
on the Indianapolis complex.
Oh yeah.
In the First Nations.
Yeah, and New Zealand are sitting on a city in China. That the two alliances definitely teamed up, big time. If not, I mean, you could get paranoid and say we think that maybe some of these countries were secondary accounts, but I don't know. I don't think there's any evidence to that.
It almost looks to me like they're holding them ransom, like, work with me, otherwise I'm going to start by taking your city, and then I'm going to move in more troops.
Wow, it is a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, like, New Zealand's literally surrounding China on all fronts, and he would not have been able to fight him off if he didn't comply with him. So he must have just said to him, look, send all your boats over to South Africa to invade there. Well, maybe they were going for Madagascar, to be fair. But if they were going for South Africa, then he had to have issued that command at least a few days ago, before we started going to war with him. So he was scheming. There's some shady stuff going on with him.
Yeah, that's proper bullying, isn't it? And there's 2 railguns on one city in First Nations, and another railguns. They've got some pretty heavy duty stuff, but like you say, the ransom. So Brazil just sitting a motorized infantry on, it's not a home city, but it's a bubble that they've taken. The moment they go to war, Brazil takes that city, don't they? And there's another one up here as well. There's oh wow, this is it. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, we beat them to it, Jonathan. You would never guess what I've just seen.
What?
You are not going to believe this. Okay, so First Nations victory site, Brazil has a troop sitting on it. They were planning the win.
The plot thickens.
Possibly tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night, or they were planning a win, and it involved First Nations giving Brazil the win, and the other coalition the win.
And they might have only been a day behind us, so that they must have seen
now
that New Zealand was about to take that victory site, and they saw the path. Well, to be fair, with that extra victory site, that might have given them enough to win as a coalition. But
but it's not just that victory site, is it? It's the bubble city they're sitting on as well that they were going to give up, and whatever else they had planned. Now, have you seen this hidden stack of boats right in the north, near west of Greenland? The big old stack of boats. Oh my God! Piled high.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, it's Norway. What? There's some Norway and some Irish troops. Wow. Okay,
so
it's Norway
weird.
and Ireland. They were planning an invasion, weren't they? Okay, so we've got 8 motorised infantry, 5 National Guards, so that's piled high, 13 troops, We've got 2 frigates, 1 destroyer, 2 cruisers, 3 frigates. There's all their boats, Jonathan. What's left anyway of what the First Nations must have attacked them with? Tank destroyers, 3 motorized.
What are they doing up there? Like, what good is that to them? They're so far away from the homeland. Like, are they looking to attack the First Nations? Are they thinking they can be sneaky and then just...
You look at their aircraft carrier stack and it's badly damaged. I think they may have ran there. I think they were planning an invasion and they were caught and then they had to run.
Oh,
that is incredible.
We were hearing about loads of naval battles going on forever, and I was trying to work out where it was going on. I imagined it was like just west of Portugal, but maybe it was all happening in like the cold northern waters up here.
I think there was an epic battle. Wow.
That's so strange.
But where are all the boats? They're all gone. There is a stack of 3 cruisers. Argentina pretty much have the most left, I think. 3 cruisers, 1 destroyer, and then 4 destroyers. That's it. That's the most anyone's got. And I mean, you don't really stand a chance against cruisers with anything except subs, and we kind of didn't have that. But I think
that they were going the long way round to get to Argentina, and to be fair, given enough time, it would have worked.
What's this?
Because you can see all of the stuff that Brazil's got, and all he's moving is kind of going to Africa, and they would never have expected somebody to go the long way round Alaska and come round to get them with all of that stuff. But they still needed like a week and a half to get there, and in that time they would have lost all of their cities. So it's kind of redundant. What their plan was. Very interesting, nonetheless.
So Brazil and New Zealand were sitting on enemies on the other alliance, the smallest alliance's cities. They were planning a win, weren't they? Yeah. They were planning a win with the other coalition's help. But you too slow. You way too slow. You got to get up earlier in the morning to take on City Gamer, Palestinian Jim, and Timmy 94. Come on, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that explains why they were so angry that they didn't get to win, because they obviously put a lot of effort into the various schemes they had going on.
So we go on the diplomacy tab and click on VPs. There you are. 3,742 points, 97 cities. Palestinian Jim, you had 59 units. That is all for the win. 874 provinces, and your popularity 89%. You might be the most popular winner ever. New Zealand in second place, 3,514 points, 84 cities, and their stats 88 units, even with 50% more units. Their popularity 23%. Hello. Not very popular. Brazil 96 cities, nearly had as many as you. Only 2,000 victory points, 61 units. Ooh, Brazil's popularity 8%. Wow. Should we see how popular I was? So I had, in the end, so gave it all away, and I was nuked every other week from the beginning. 686 points, 37 cities, 41 units. Global popularity 65%. I'll go with that. Our coalition popularity 71%, but that's me and Tim. So there's all the stats. We'll scroll down so you can see everyone who's left in the game. The Chosen had 4 cities, 35 points. Madagascar didn't come last. 3 cities, 41 points. Hooray. And Ireland and Norway are there at the bottom. How they fell from grace. 9 cities, Ireland, 175 points. And Norway, 16 cities, 334 points. Pretty pathetic.
25% popularity for Norway.
Really? Still popular than Brazil? Why was Brazil so unpopular?
Hang on. What number are you looking at? I see 42% here. I'm seeing
Oh,
something different to you.
maybe I saw something different.
I think the
Their
the lowest is
coalition's popular. It says our popularity when you go on the I for info for Brazil. It says our popularity 8%. So I don't know what that means.
that'll be to do with you. That's interesting. I'm really not sure.
Who knows? The victory signs come up again. I came 7th. Do you know what? We took this win for the channel, for our team, and bring on the next game at some point. Who knows? I'm sure we'll crack into another one. We'll have a bit of light relief before then, and do subscribe to the channel if you've watched all the way till now. And if you want to help out the series, then you can like and comment on the first episode of each of the series I put out there if you want to support the channel. So thank you for watching. It's been a hell of a series. Any other things to add, Jonathan?
Just something quite funny. If you go on the news and then go on stats, it says most popular trending nations, conflict of nations trending, most beloved leader poll surprising results. First place is Korea. Second is Madagascar. But what I found funny was third place is the Dead Zones. They're the third most popular country by leader. So yeah, who knows why that is? And I'm down there in 10th.
Well, there it is. Here's a few news stories for anyone who wants to read up on them. The last bits. Agents captured. There's an economics thing there.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a game. It'll be a little well-deserved break, but there'll definitely be more good stuff to come. Maybe another game like this, or it could be something different. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled.
Who knows? But either way, we bring it to you live and direct. And for the last time for this series, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Over and out.